Welcome into another episode of the DNVR Rapids Postgame Show, presented by Vodka TV. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, and I am joined, as always, by my illustrious panel, DNVR Rapidsmen, Pidsmen, Burgundy Boys themselves, super producer, and all-around just fantastic guy, and sad Arsenal fan, might I add. Yahir Vazquez, my guy.
Sad sports fan, man. Let's go.
Tough day.
Only thing holding me over is literally the thought of Russell Wilson next weekend.
That's all we got, baby.
Because also Mexico lost. So.
Oh no!
It's just been a shit weekend.
Down so bad. Our guy. We'll lift him up here in the post game show. And no longer invisible abs. Long gone. Whole new man showed up today. Our guy, the Duane Brown guy.
What's up, guys? Lots to talk about.
There is.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching this game.
Me too.
Yeah,
it was the most fun I've had.
I had fun. Yeah, I had fun.
Absolutely. So obviously, I haven't even said the score of the game yet. Rapids go into D.C., wrap up the third game of their road trip. 0-0, finish the road trip with a -9 differential and 1 point with the season on the line. If you look at this game on its own, I think there's a lot to like. And it's tough when you kind of have this veil of, when they needed it, they didn't get it, right? But I think when you look at how some of these guys played and showed up, I think, there's a lot to like. Already B-Ray in the comments saying Max. I thought he was great. Yarby had his first penalty save as a professional keeper today. I thought that was sick.
That was pretty funny, man. I thought, good for Yarby. Dude. Yarby needed it. He needed a win. He needed a dub, man. But I thought it was just funny that he's faced 12 and this is the first time he's ever saved.
It's definitely tough to see that where he just kind of, it was his best game in a while, I thought, and they couldn't find a goal at the end. Max was good. Felipe, man. First in MLS.
I thought it was never. I was like, I remember watching him, but I don't remember him any penalties on MFU. Real quick, can we just talk about how this game was a bigger indication that the Rapids were more D.C United level than they are Nashville Founders and or even Philly. Philly, we knew that already. But we kind of this was just kind of the exclamation point that they're not where they have to be.
Joseph saying that he did save some penalties against Comunicaciones, but I do not count that because
it's more in the run of play.
As we have seen on this road trip specifically and on this season as a whole, if a team gets to the spot, it had been an automatic goal. And so it's good for him to step up in his first save as a Rapids keeper. And man, you're right. This team showed, I think, very, very clearly that this isn't a 7-6-5 seed. This is a battling for the first pick kind of team right now, I think. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure. Battles, they're wooden spoon territory.
I don't think they're first pick bad, but they're not. I don't know. I don't feel that.
I don't think they're that bad.
I don't think it's bad.
I also don't think it's that
It's just
bad.
like Mitch's response.
Look,
I'm a big
I don't want
guy.
to say that
today and just all hype. He's like,
I don't want to say that, but man, you have this is against. I would call DC the worst team in the league. It's them, or I don't know, Kansas City, Miami, but man, it's you again, we can't keep doing this. Okay, we're gonna go and get it. This is it. This is time to get it, and then just put up a dud. Offensively, it was just another dud.
That's
tough.
That's the thing. They were evenly matched.
Yeah,
DC. They didn't overpower DC.
No.
That's what I mean. That they're more at that level.
Yeah.
That they're. Then I'm not saying they're the worst team in the league. Literally, I'm not saying that because I think there's about 4 other teams that I think are less talented in DC.
They are definitely talented on a level with the Nashvilles, Seattles,
Yeah, for sure.
those bubble teams, Portland, etc. But play-wise, they just have not. I mean, again, this is another game with, 0 goals, which is, I don't even want to see the number on 0 goals for the Rapids this season. I bet you it's getting close to double digits.
But 0 goals against, baby. Let's go, Yarby.
But
the Yarby Hypecast.
yeah, remember when I said, are we having a Yarby conversation last week? The answer is yes, we're having a Yarby conversation, and our guy is back, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Duane, you've been quiet down there. What's your biggest takeaway from this game? And what's the name of your dog?
My dog's name is Rocket.
That's an awesome dog.
He doesn't do predictions.
There's also a giant dog behind Yaya's head on top of DSG.
Yeah, he came in immediately and left.
But yeah, Duane, what was your biggest takeaway? I mean, I think like you said earlier, there's a lot to take away. I think there was some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest takeaway is kind of what you mentioned, though I don't think we're first pick competition. But I think what we saw is two teams that are not super great, playing not great soccer. And it turns out that can be fun soccer to watch. So, I mean, we can say that was bad soccer all we want, but that's the most fun I've had watching a Rapids game since I don't know when. Like, it was like enjoyable to watch. Yeah, it's been enjoyable.
I think Minnesota was the last time we actually had fun.
Yeah, and that game was awesome. I think Lucas, who has constantly drawn the ire of downtown Duane Brown, the constant target of the analyst.
I don't.
Showed up big tonight, man. He showed up big tonight.
We talked about this a little bit. So here's my
Penny superstar. Let's go.
So for those of you who enjoy Nutmeg predictions, this is Nutmeg's manager.
Yeah.
So, it's 10% of the cut.
He gets 10%. That's right.
That's 10% of all the views. Don't even mess with her.
Let's go.
So anyway, So I still think there were. I just, we talked about it during the game a little bit, and you mentioned it on Twitter also that, when we were talking about halftime subs, about the offensive contributions that he made, and I agree with you in that, and when you said that, like, I started watching for that more, and I think you're right on that.
He was great,
but still on defense, he's a liability for me, and like my mind is not going to change on that based on tonight's performance too. Like, it's just that the evidence is there. We can go back and watch the first half. Like, there's a lot of giveaways. I don't know how many, but I'm sure Joseph probably knows.
I mean, dude, across the first half, I mean, the whole midfield in the first half was it was not. You couldn't get the ball up, and it was a constant. It was. I think Keegan was solid. I think Beta was solid. I think Felipe was solid. But outside of that, it was turnover after turnover after turnover. They couldn't build up anything. And DC was just flooding forward. Like, any turnover was a response with 6 guys running the other direction immediately. And you can't compete with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I will say this. Look, like, I don't think my opinion's wrong when it's based on defense. I think the evidence is there, but I think you were totally right, Mitch, when you're saying, let's look at him on offense, and B-Ray said, as well, like, Lucas as a wing with Max up top for the next 5 games, like, could be interesting. I mean, it's just like, hey, we got time. Like, you've won me over on Lucas up front. So
he's really good up front.
I would really like to see that too. And I think seeing that, I could become a big Lucas fan. Like,
man, that one timer he had, just right out of the air, man. I just felt bad that it went into the keeper. That was beautiful.
I know, but there were a lot of those tonight.
The thing about Lucas is that he's improved defensively quite a bit.
Big time.
I think he's
yeah.
He's also been a lot more focused, which is something that I think he lacks because he has the tenacity. He has the athleticism to be like the left back. But I just feel like he gets unfocused, he gets angry too quick, or he's just thinking about offense and kind of forgets about the defensive side of it. But that first half, like those first 30 minutes, he looked really unfocused, kind of was just trying to push up. And then after that, he kind of settled in, and I thought nothing was getting past him at that point. I thought he really locked down.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing with Lucas, and you can talk about one-on-one defensive ability or whatever, but not a lot of guys can get into the box and get back to the defensive box as fast as him at all, and play physically in the middle of that. I don't know. I think he is trending in the right direction when it comes to picking up that buy option, right? Like, definitely is putting the right sort of stuff on film towards the end of the season when that decision comes up.
Yeah, and I agree. I would, paying more attention to the offensive set. Like I hope that Fraser pushes him forward to be able to solidify that buy, right?
Sure.
Because I think that's where the value is, and just like Max, and we can talk about him too.
Yeah, let's talk about Max.
Really, I mean, just man, I super enjoyed watching him play tonight. Like, just really good up front.
Man, he had fantastic touches. His step over finally worked into the box for the first time this season. Maybe the first time. I don't know if that's an official stat. Don't quote me on that. But it felt like it was the first time it worked all season. It was beautiful. He was getting into the right lanes. He was working his way back into the midfield when the ball made it back into the defensive third. Lot to like. I mean, if this is the max we get, should have had that assist to Zardes. I think Zardes he was too wide to take the shot, but I don't think Zardes could tell, like he didn't really have a wide enough angle to even put it in that far corner. It was a great ball, man.
Great ball. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the same thing that kind of I can say for Luke, is I can say for Max too.
Yep.
It's just kind of like honing them in and having them focus and be a little bit more purposeful what they do with the ball and like how they're doing it with the ball. It's not really about talent because they both have all the talent in the world. It feels like they just need Fraser just kind of needs to like wrangle them in a little bit. They're a wild horse right now, and they just kind of need to be tamed and like given their role of what they know how to do instead of just roaming free and having them do whatever they want. Because I feel like that's when they get lost because they try to do everything by themselves.
Yeah, I think the best moments we've seen from Max this year, specifically Max, is when he comes in and it's 0-0 or 1-1 or 2-2 or you're down 1 and it's like goal time. It's goal time. Like, go for it. Yeah. Like, that's when he's the most out in. That's when he's the most engaged. That's when his touches are the most impactful and forward thinking and next step. Like, where does this ball go after I send a ball to someone, right? That's when you really see it clicking with Max. The problem is when he's come in down 2, down 3, or started even, and it's just too much time and too wide open for him to kind of dial that in and focus, like you said. So I thought tonight was a great sub for him, great appearance. Yeah, he came on for Sam Nicholson, who I don't know if you guys want to get into that conversation right now.
I do.
Yikes! Big yikes!
There's dog, man. Like, we know who has a dog here. I'm sorry,
ain't got that dog,
sure,
dude.
He does not have that dog. Dude, I feel like he just lacks effort. We were talking about this. It feels a lot more of a energy thing than anything else with him at times. And it's just really disappointing because he has the talent. He has the speed, the acceleration. He has the fan base. People love him around here. And it's just really disappointing that he doesn't go full out like we all expect him to.
Especially when he's playing on that right side where Mikey just, whether or not he's gotten the goals, which he hasn't, right? I mean, Mikey's only, I think, 1 goal, 4 assists or something like that. He just, man, you can't do that bad of a Mikey B impersonation on that right side. It just isn't. It doesn't work with this structure.
Especially when you actually have Mikey on the other side and Jay Lou on the bench.
Yeah,
you can't not give your best effort at that.
That was a weird sub.
Yeah.
That
was a weird sub.
Yeah, Lewis for Barrios instead of Lewis for Nichols. Yeah, you're right. Very weird. But then the Lewis, Max, Zardes, Rubio front, I thought was pretty sick. Like,
Yeah.
give me 30 minutes minimum of that next game. Let me see that. Let's see Max on that right wing, because Mikey may, I don't know if Mikey will be around this next season. Hopefully. I mean, I like watching Mikey play, but
yeah,
you got to find options.
I mean, if that's where Max can play and looks comfortable and can actually use all those, every little skill he has in his book, let's do it. Like, honestly, like, seriously. I mean, oh God, Joseph, why'd you had to bring up the contract in the comments, brother? Come on, 2.5. Yikes.
Already
Man, I mean, I'm sure Joseph knows this off the top, but
Joseph
man,
is salty.
He only had 4 goals and 4 assists or something in his time in his first stretch with the Rapids. Like, I think he had under 10 total goal contributions over 100 games or something, or about 100 games. And now he's back and has 0 in 9 appearances this season, 10 appearances.
He's on pace. Let's go.
So he's due.
He's on pace.
I did. Okay, so here's a good one then for the end of the season, because I bet you Nicholson with that contract is going to have to get some minutes, especially if they're out of it. Who gets on the goal sheet first, either a goal or an assist? Is it Max or is it Sam Nicholson? Duane.
Max.
Ooh, gosh, Max.
Is it though? Like, they both have had about the same amount of contribution time, and it's just like, if I had hair, which I don't, I would be pulling it out every time, because neither one of them are able to get on the board like that.
Well, neither of them are really like. I see both of those guys as guys who don't really pull the trigger and take the shot as much as they do try to get in, as the Rapids way is in 2022, which is go all the way to the goal line and then try to cross. So, those guys are both more, kind of trying to get the assist versus the goal right now.
Yeah.
All right, there's the Joseph with the stats.
As always, shout out Joseph, man. What a legend. Seriously. I don't know why you do this to yourself, but we are very thankful that you do. Okay, let's see. I thought Keegan is playing at center back now for the 2.5 game. Is that right? I mean, he's had stretches in there as like an injury fill-in and stuff like that throughout the year. But I thought he looked great. I mean, he was holding up against Benteke. Granted, this is his first game in the season, or his first start in the season. And, it's not like, it's not like fully informed Benteke or anything, but I thought he looked great.
He was DC United tonight. Like,
yeah,
if anything was happening, it was him.
Well, Keegan held his own, dude.
But Keegan held his own, and that's kind of my point.
Well, no, that's not. I'm supporting you and saying.
Oh,
He marked them and locked them down, and by doing that, he pretty much shut DC United down. Like, that was their whole offense.
Keegan has been a pillar, man. Keegan is
the
only reason this team has stayed in it for so long sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially in games. Him and Rubio, dude. Him and Rubio have really stepped up to be those. Like, we already knew who they were. We knew people loved them. But I feel like this year, like, they just completely cemented themselves. As leaders, exactly. Like, as people to look up to. Because Rubio and Keegan are two guys that immediately go and fight for their teammates, no matter what, whether it be against the ref, the other team. They're two guys that run up. They're ready to throw hands. They're ready to do whatever is needed for their team, man. And that's just awesome, dude. Like, we're big Keegan people in this pod. Everybody knows that. We don't mind saying when he has a bad game, but, like, lately he's just been on one.
He's been amazing. Absolutely
amazing. He's been really that backbone of this team at times.
Yep.
That they really need, and it's really nice to see such a good guy get that. They're getting good form.
Yeah, absolutely. Great form. Okay, so we have 2 home games left, right? That's Vancouver and Dallas, our next 2 home games, and then it's 3 more on the road to finich. 2 on the road.
Three. I think we got Galaxy, Austin.
So we're gonna. So it's Vancouver at home next weekend, a late start, 7:30, and we're gonna kind of
let's go.
We're gonna take what we can from this game, and we're gonna kind of see what we can talk about here for the Vancouver game. But first, of course, we need to talk about the homies at Avoca TV. We've said it before. We'll continue to say it. Vodka TV is the GOAT in Colorado sports. That is the greatest of all television. Vodka TV delivers amped up sports coverage for Colorado fans featuring altitude sports. There's only 5 games of our guys left, man. If you want to listen to Fleming break down the Rapids, man, this is your time. You can watch it right there on altitude. AT&T Sportsnet, the hunt for 69 with the Rocks is on. Like, let's go. Let's get that. And the NFL Network. And then you get the most regional content for the lowest price for sports in Colorado, all in crystal clear HD while using less bandwidth. You enjoy over 60 entertainment channels, including news, movies, and more. Turn your home into the ultimate game viewing zone. You can even stream your teams from your phone, laptop, or tablet when you're on the go. You can also add on a discounted Sling TV bundle to get ESPN and more. Vodka is only $25 a month plus a $5 receiver fee. Right now, Colorado sports fans get $10 off per month for your first 3 months. $10 off. That's only $15 a month. That is fantastic. To score that deal, go to evoca.tv/Colorado10. That's evoca.tv/Colorado10. No contracts, no catches. Evoca is TV made for champions of the remote. Shout out to the homies at Evoca TV. Man. So Vancouver at home. Revenge game. Kind of playing for the hope that the rest of the West collapses. If you're Robin Fraser here, are you throwing out this 11 that you saw today? Like this, you're basically your strongest possible 11, or is it time to start Max, start Prizo? Is this the game at home? It's a friendlier confines. You kind of know that you're out of it. I mean, you have 9 points to make up in 5 games.
They're 10 out of the 7 squad. I think. 9. No, you're right. 9.
Yeah. So
9. Yeah, right.
It's tough. It was 10 into the game. They got the draw, but what do you do? I mean, is it time? Like, is it time to throw those guys out there, or do you keep this kind of veteran strong 11 that you have? I mean, this veteran 11 you have out there.
As much as you would love to start the kids, get a little bit more run time for the other guys, you sure can't do that for the locker room more than anything.
Correct.
You can't show that you're giving up. You just if you show that you're giving up, your players are gonna give up on you as a coach. That leadership aspect is such a understated part of the game that you do have to even put up a facade a little bit that you're still trying, that there's still hope, you can still do this. So I would love it. I think it would be the right thing to do, but I also think that they can do it for the confidence of the team. You kind of saw it at the beginning of this game. They kind of looked like they given up. They looked kind of done with life. They didn't look confident. They didn't look like they wanted to be there. They looked defeated, honestly, at points. So you can't continue that trend because you still got to think about their morale for next year and what they believe in you and what you're doing.
Sure. Duane, what would you do?
I think Yaya is 100% right. But I wish I do. I agree with Yaya 100%. But I wish that he could start everybody else anyway.
For sure.
It's just because it's a message that you're sending not only to the locker room but also to the fans. But I think fans like us, and the folks in the comments, we all want to see a glimpse into next season.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's going to happen until we're mathematically eliminated. Sure. And that might not be to the last game or two,
Right. You're not
so,
wrong.
I mean, I think realistically, we can all be honest and say, playoffs are not happening. But when you are running a business, which is what MLS is, like Yaya saying, you're trying to balance the locker room and your trust of the players, to trust you as a coach. There's a lot of diplomacy that Robin Fraser has to do right now, and it's a bummer, and I don't envy him in that position at all, because right now he's dealing with the media right now, talking about a team that we should have beat. He's got his locker room veterans that he's got to continue to win over, but he's also got the kids who are up and coming that are wondering, hey, we're not going to make it, so why don't we, give me a chance, coach, basically. So it's a hard position for Fraser to be in. And that's what I'm saying. Like at the bottom level, Yaya is 100% right. Like, I agree. He's 100% on point, but I wish it didn't have to be that way. Like, we can't be realistic about it. We have to be diplomatic about it. And sometimes that's not real. It's
right. See, now I do think I think there's some that you have to be like, look, like Felipe Gutierrez, he's not going to be back, right? Like that was a short-term loan. There's no buy option. I'm 90% sure there's no buy option on that. I think he just goes back to Catolikas.
I can see a world where they push for him too.
I mean, sure. I mean, he definitely has a connection. His free kicks are amazing. Like his vision, his through balls are great. And he seems to fit in. But if Catolikas has no interest in giving a buy option or selling him, I mean, like time to play Max, time to play Prizo. Like give you know what I mean? Like you think of the guys that aren't like, as much as we love Mikey, if he's not in the plans, Porter needs to tell him who is in the plans and like who can work those wings going forward. And if that is get Max to start up top or, like whatever it is, I just think like you only have so many games, right? Like it's a short season. And if this one's done, it's time to look at next one, right? In my opinion. And it's not necessarily mean like Diego, you let him go for that goals record. Zardes, you let him get to double digits, right? There's like Yarby, you keep him riding. He just got a shutout. Defense has been putting him in bad spot, but he's been great. Like there's still guys like you don't say Keegan, right?
Wallace,
Wallace. But there is a few spots where it's like, why not? Right? Like you have to make some business decisions pretty soon, and you only have so much tape left. So
I have a quick question on that.
Sure.
So we're talking about players that should stay in the lineup and who shouldn't. Which spots do we think should be up for grabs for the next game?
I think one of the wing spots, right?
Okay.
Like I think Max. I would love to see Max up there after how he played for Nicholson. I would love to see Max start up there. Whole game, attack only. Don't need to worry about possession. Don't need to worry about continuing play from the back and playing through. I think that's a big one. I think if Keegan's going to just stay at center back and let Wilson recover / whatever's going on there, give Markinick a run on the outside. And then that.
What about Gustavo? Give Gus another shot.
Yeah, see, that's another one. It's like, love to see him play. I'd love to see. I mean, I really like Felipe. I'm not trying to bag. I don't like seeing.
I saw that, Joseph, and I love Chicharito.
What happened?
Chicharito, he had his paneca save. Dude, Chicharito's so funny, dude. Chicharito's like one of the. Did you see that video of him falling after Michael Bradley got near him and he just dropped to the ground last week?
That's your guy.
Hilarious. I'm sorry.
Honestly, kind of my guy too. United legend. But yeah, like as much as I like Felipe and I think he's been really in great form, I mean, you have guys that are going to be playing in that spot much more likely than he is next season, right? And if the playoffs are as much as I like him and as great as he's been, man, some of these balls are like that through ball he had today. Was it Lucas was on the end of it, or Lewis or whoever it was? That was Barrios, just like maybe one Barrios, just like one step too late. God, it was. I don't know how he even saw it. At the end of the day, like that's a spot where you just have more likely people to be there. So why, I don't know. It's tough because you want to see Felipe get on the goal sheet, right? You want to see Nicholson get on the goal sheet. Like you want to see Mike. Like
you want to see them thrive because you like them as players. Like you want them to do good.
I just want to see goals. I just want to see goals. Give me goals.
Are we finally going to see my dream lineup of Priso and Jack next to Rubio?
2023.
I mean, I think
I'm not sure you're going to see it next year.
I still think Jack is going to. I think Jack is not going to sit out no matter what. I think Jack, if he's healthy, he'll want to play. Because he's that type of guy that wants to be out there.
Yeah, that's not his call. I mean, it depends on whether or not the team doc says he's good to go, then he's good to go.
It's an injury that's going to take fitness time. Yeah. It's an injury that you can't also work on your fitness while you're recovering from the injury, right? So it's recovery time plus fitness time, right? It's not this. It's not like busted shoulder or something, or like, where you can just sit on the exercise bike and, get a little bit of cardio in, or like something like that. This is like one where it's like rest only. Continue.
I can still see like the last game of the year, like the last game.
Sure.
Like they're just like getting 20 minutes of Priso and Jack.
Jack, Priso, Rubio would be.
That's what I can see it. Like,
chef's kiss, baby.
Dude, I love that. Like,
it would be great. It would be
Max
really
on the right
great.
wing, J. Lou on the other side, and Yappy up front. Let's go.
Yappy up front. Jesus.
Give Yahya a stream lineup.
I mean, there's just not a lot of attacking options either. So it's like, do you want to start a 17-year-old Yappy just to see what you got? I mean, it's probably not time for that conversation yet.
I wouldn't start him, but I'd give him a lot more spot minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he should get 20 minutes at some point, 20, 30 minutes.
I think at the end he should average around 20 minutes in the last 3 games. That should be his average for the last 3 games. For sure.
Absolutely. So, man, to answer Cody's question that just came through, since we were just talking about Jack Price, he was out for a long time. He had the hamstring early, right? And then calf injury was another 2 months. Yep. And then he plays for a game and a half or something like that, or he plays a half, and then the next game he starts, and right before halftime, chest injury, and he's been out since. And I believe that was the Minnesota game.
Yeah, that's the last time we saw him.
And that was the last time we saw him. So it's been a while. And yeah, he has missed a lot of the season, and that's honestly been it's the underrated. I think it's the least talked about storyline with this team is not having Jack Price involved. Especially on a game like tonight where you spent 30 minutes trying to just play the ball out of the back and you couldn't. Like,
dude, that was
not, like it's like this is exactly a game where it's like, man, probably wouldn't have been like that if Jack was here. It's tough. It's tough. But man, I mean, it's tough. It's like I want to say so many good things about the game today, but it's just like.
Well, let's get into all the things that you actually thought were really, really positive that aren't players. Like, let's go into tactics a little bit. Like, what do you like? Like, maybe you like something. Like, let's get positive. Like, we're I feel like this season's done. So like,
okay, I do have one. I have one, and I wasn't sure how to put it in a tweet because I just kept typing it, and the sentence didn't make any sense. I thought the wingers played great defensively. I mean, Mikey, I think, touched both corners defensively and both corners offensively. I thought those were great. I think, and then to flip that, I thought both Beta and Lucas were great offensively. It was really nice. I think Frazier has found something there that worked really well in that 5-back where didn't matter which winger or outside back didn't really, they could both kind of just kind of interchange and go up and down. And he finally kind of figured that out with Acosta dropping back to like a center back almost when those guys push. And you saw Mikey playing hard defense all the way back. You saw Nicholson playing defense in the box. I thought that was actually like interesting to finally see the best parts of the 5-back that doesn't work anymore work in the 4-back. At least it seems that way to me.
It worked great from the wings.
Dude,
I thought Tardis work rate was like the defensive work rate was
he was great. He was a horse out there, man. He was running all over the place. Those huge strides. It's so funny when you watch a Zardes run and a Mikey run in the same minute or so, because Mikey takes like 3 times the steps to get to the same spot.
They're both just so cool. It's crazy to see.
Duane, what about you? What was your biggest positive?
Well, I mean, it's piggybacking on what you're saying is I think everybody got the memo from Fraser that tonight everybody plays defense.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense is not good, so guess what? You're all on defense now. And everybody did, and it was good. Now, given yes, it's against D.C United, which they're not amazing. But it was great to see.
That is very kind of you to say.
Right.
It like that.
They're not amazing. But aside from that, seeing the entire team commit to the team was at every position was something we have not seen. Was it pretty? No. Was it amazing soccer? No. But it was a unified front from Colorado, and that's something we have not seen this season very much at all, if not at all. So that was my one big thing. Is like I saw it I was like, wow, everybody got the memo that they're on defense tonight. The other thing is also piggybacking on what Mitch said is that, dude, Beta is like undercover.
Beta
Great
rules, dude.
season.
Yeah.
Like he just quietly,
Let's go.
the dude is like a shark. You know, he's just like quietly under the surface, like making it happen. And so I want to give him some appreciation for that because I enjoy watching him play. And also he's such a good dude.
He's like kind of the opposite of Rubio.
So
Their style of play is like Rubio's
Oh.
like right in your face, let's go. And then Beta's just like, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna get my things done, and then I'm just gonna get out of here. Like I'm just gonna like sneaky attack you real quick.
That was a really good recovery. I was like, whoa, you said he's such a good guy, and you're like, he's the opposite of Rubio. It's like, wow.
No, like like their style of play is like so different. Rubio loves being up in your face. It's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna punch you out if you don't get out of my face. Hold me back. And Beta's like, I just want to get my work done and I'm out of here. I'm just trying to get through my day.
Beta just handles it before the whistle is blown.
Exactly.
Rubio handles it both before and after the whistle is blown. So.
And during the whistle. And dude, one thing I would want to say about like defense, now that like we're talking about this, for as many mental mistakes that this team has made in the past and we've harped on them, they did a great job of when they couldn't play out of the back, getting the ball out of there and just resetting again, which is something that we failed to see throughout the season. Even Fleming was saying that Frazier kind of focused on this, and I kind of focused on it after Fleming said, like if they just couldn't play from the back instead of trying to like force something so they could keep possession, they got rid of it and then just reset again. And I think it really helped them defensively because they weren't trying to make a play that wasn't there.
Yeah,
it was like quick and easy. Like, hey, you know what? I can't do nothing. Get rid of it. We'll reset. We'll try to get the ball back, and we'll start over. And I think that was a great adjustment by Frazier and the team. I do want to shout that out. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really just a great note to end it on. I mean, tonight was a good game and a good, it was an entertaining game for the first time in a long time, and I think we got a lot of positives to pull out a game for the first time in a long time. I mean, almost a whole show's worth of positives there. And
are either of you afraid of Benteke going forward next year?
Afraid of what?
I like Benteke. I like Benteke. I think
not afraid because he's in the East, but like, do you think he'll like kill it next year? Like,
I think he's gonna be pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think having a guy like Wayne Rooney in charge helps that a lot.
Depends on what DC surrounds him with. I mean, clearly he's the building block. So,
I mean, they have Taxi and Benteke, so that's all you need, really.
It's MLS. They could be first place next year for all we know.
Dude, I love that so much about the MLS.
I do too. I love it. That's the craziness of MLS. And,
so Rapids in first place next year. You heard it from Duane Brown right here.
Any year's your year in MLS.
I love them.
All right. So we have some things we need to shout out here as a podcast, as a company. It's time, baby. Friday. Do you know what Friday is? You got to get down on Friday because it is the grand reopening of the DNVR bar, baby. We're back.
Finally.
Let's go.
We're back. We got college football, soccer all weekend, Sunday football, NFL. We have it all day long, and we're going to cap off the grand opening weekend, Monday Night Football, with the Broncos and Russell Wilson going to Seattle. We are hyped. It's going to be amazing, and we want to see you there. Come on down, please. We'll be there all weekend. It's going to be. I'm just so excited. We haven't been open since the day the Rapids won the championship. That was the last time the bar doors were open to the public, which was obviously amazing. But yeah, it's time. We're hyped to be back. Am I missing anything on that? I mean,
no, I've spent a lot of time. I spent all day yesterday in the bar, and
let's go.
We're still making improvements and making it even better. I got to try some of the, while we were there working, we also had some lunch there. The food was good. The French fries are amazing. So high fives on those French fries.
Good.
But the rest of the food was good too. So lots of good things happening down at the bar. Even after Friday, there will still be improvements being made.
Let's go.
So we're it's not a open and we're done. It's a making this better and better and better, and making it just the community that we've all dreamed of being able to hang out and watch the Rapids or Broncos or Avs or Rockies or whoever, CU, CSU, like whatever it is, like it's we're creating that community, and that doesn't happen without you guys there. The ketchup, B-Ray, is mwah. It's not
Why
that
are we
generic
doing this?
stuff.
Why are we doing this?
It's
bro?
not
This is
generic.
bad.
I
This is
did
not-
try the ketchup. It's beautiful Heinz ketchup. It's fresh because the bar's new.
It's
I
fresh.
hope it's always fresh in every restaurant.
I
Like
do.
Ketchup, by definition, is not fresh.
It's
It
the
is
freshest
processed packaged sugar sauce.
We have the
Worst.
most beautifully fresh packaged ketchup you could ever want. Mitch is going to get to try it out pretty soon. When my
They just need to win 3 games. They just need to win 3 games, and I'm good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's coming together. We're excited to be able to see you all, not just in the comments, but in person, and be able to hang out together. So
really fun.
it's good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. What do you got to plug for us, bud?
5-star reviews anywhere you listen to this pod really helps us out. We love you guys.
Yes.
That's awesome. Interact on DNVR_Rapids. Let us know what you guys want to hear. Give us likes. Tell us what works, what doesn't work. We're for the people, by the people. So any suggestions, we're more than welcome to talk about it.
Just tell us what works, though. I don't like being critiqued. Just tell me, please. Thank you.
Don't talk to me. Go tell me if nothing works, and
tell me, and we'll tell Mitch
something doesn't work. I'll sneak it in Mitch's sandwich or something. Anything that doesn't work.
God. Oh, jeez. Yeah, but
just follow us all on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, we're all fun follows. We all do have different following, different things. Like, each of our Twitters are very different. You can tell.
Yes.
Right away. Yeah. Mine is more stupid and like I don't know what I'm talking about. Mitch is very like analytical and knows what he's talking about a lot of the times.
And it's United season,
follow.
baby.
Yeah,
let's go.
If you want positivity, just follow Duane on Twitter.
That's true. He's a
I'm all over
light amongst us.
I'm all over the place. Hey, speaking of Twitter, I want to throw a quick get well soon to our buddy Balboa, who tweeted earlier. That's why he wasn't on the show today with Richard. So hope you get well soon, man. We miss you, and hope you're back on so that we can catch you for the last 5 games of the season.
I believe you're referring to my teammate and
your teammate on the
champion,
winning cup.
Balboa.
You're talking about the guy that fouled me right now. the guy that took me out of service for 2 weeks.
He did it for the cup. He did it for the cup.
I was so ready to go talk
for
to
the Frazier, for the green
coach.
Machine, baby.
I was about to go
no
talk
mercy.
to Frazier. Like, Frazier, I got 2 good yellows with me, my guy. Put me in, coach.
God. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Make sure you subscribe to DNVR Sports here on YouTube. Give us that thumbs up. It goes a long way. Get your membership to DNVR Sports. We'll send it to you with a nice little $30 code for the locker where you can get all sorts of cool stuff, including our Up the Pit supporter scarf and our Crest t-shirt. There's only one thing left on this podcast that we haven't got to yet. It's the same thing we end on every week. Doesn't matter if it's a win, it's a loss. We're in the drawing room. Playoffs are in. Playoffs are not. It's up the pits.